SixScore.com is where you get all the latest info. We'll run through some injury-based active inactives. Feel free to send start-sit questions, all that good stuff. Let's start with Raheem Mostert, active with the ankle. We look back to that game, didn't see much. They get the Patriots today. Tyreek Hill, active. He was questionable with questionable attention from his mom. But
Yes.
he did have a little hip tweak, kind of limped off late, but not a real big concern. Even the beat writers said he looked like cheetah in practice, so not too much concern for Tyreek Hill. Michael Thomas, active. He developed an illness over the weekend. Call that the Bijan Robinson effect. Now you're going to hear about every illness because they didn't tell us about Bijan. Zach Moss is active. Elbow and heel. Doug's doing his picks. Zach Moss is active. Elbow and heel. They said he's going to do a pregame workout, so it sounds like everything's go for him. Might be interesting to see the split between Jonathan Taylor and him. Jonathan Taylor had a game last week where it's been kind of Zach Moss's backfield for the early portion of the season. But good to see Jonathan Taylor back and looking healthy. Trevor Lawrence is active. That same knee that bothered him last Thursday, he's going to wear a brace for it. Not a big concern. He was still running around making plays. Expect him to do the same. I believe they get who the Jaguars play? Jaguars against Steelers. So that's a stout defense for him. So on the road, that'll be an interesting test. We're on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Feel free to send. I don't think you send Twitter questions, but if you want to hop on YouTube or TikTok, I'll get to some start sits. Just doing the actives and actives real quick. Luke Musgrave is going to play. He had an ankle in the same hit Kareem Jackson, that high hit that Kareem Jackson got suspended for. Kind of got the ankle trapped underneath him, but shouldn't be too bad for that matchup against the Vikings. Curtis Samuel had a foot injury. I think that was lingering from last week. He played through last week. He's going to do so again. Juju Smith-Schuster, for anyone that's holding on to hope, he's back. So hopefully you don't have to play him in your wide receiver spot. No buys this week, so I think people will dodge that bullet. Jalen Ramsey's going to play, and Jordan Davis had a hamstring in practice, but he's going to play through. Inactives, Tyron Smith, Randall Cobb, Javon Holland, and Xavier Howard. So luckily no big fantasy names inactive today besides, Tannehill. Not a big fantasy name, but makes Will Levis an option for you on the waiver wire. All right, some start sits. Deontay Foreman or Kareem Hunt? I think we're leaning Kareem Hunt. I mean, Jerome Ford, by video, is a mild high ankle. They are talking about he's going to warm up before the game. It's afternoon slot, but they said the team is taking it cautious with him. They're trying to talk him out of playing. Mild ankle, it's usually 2 weeks at least, so it's good that he's trying to push to play, but even if he's active, I see Kareem Hunt getting the majority of that action. I get it. Deontay Foreman had a dominant performance last week.
It's the
Raiders against Raiders. Sorry, Bears on Sunday night against the Chargers. So Raiders made AJ Dillon look good. I don't know about everybody else. Chris Olave is playing today. I don't know what Olave had. I don't know why that's a concern, right? Was he questionable?
It was a toe, I believe.
Toe? So that lingering toe from a couple of weeks ago, it's not an issue anymore. He might have been missed practice time, but we're not a big concern for us. He's going to play through, he did have that rough speeding arrest this week, so maybe that's why people are asking. Toe's not a big concern over that ticket.
Because there is no injury report for him.
DJ Moore or Christian Kirk? I like Christian Kirk a lot in that offense. I think he's the main dude compared to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, I think, was 1 catch for 5 yards last week against the Saints. Christian Kirk gets a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of intermediate. DJ Moore against the Chargers defense, I know is enticing, but I think I'm leaning Kirk on that one. Hollywood Brown or Josh Downs? Josh Downs is a fantasy all-star, stepping in the lineup with Gardner Minshew. A little bit of tough matchup against the Saints, but I don't know that Josh Dobbs has that much left in him. I think that's why they're talking Kyler as an option. Kind of interesting that they didn't choose to play Kyler this week, but expect him back next week, and that might be an increase for Hollywood Brown. Might not be. Let's see. Taysom Hill or Higbee? Taysom Hill had a chest questionable LP all week. Higbee has kind of disappeared in that offense with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua dominating the targets. But I see Taysom. I think they're they're using him more as a wide receiver. I know he's mixed in some packages under center and taking some or shotgun, take some runs, but I think it's been more receiver work lately. I think Dennis Allen's liking what he sees from him outside the hash marks in the slot kind of deal. So Harrison Butker, despite the weather in Denver, that's a good question. Snowing like crazy. I don't know what the wind is. Taylor, our crosswind expert, might get back to me on that, but you might want to look at some options. I don't know that Patrick Mahomes, we haven't mentioned. He's illness, not questionable or anything, but he did pick up an illness. There's a lot of snow in that game. Kicking in snow is usually not the best. I think you might have to go to an alternate option. And thanks for reminding me because I have Harrison Butker in my lineup, so I might have to go to the kicker waiver wire, kicker free agent pickup. Ayuk or Dante Foreman. I had that same problem with Ayuk. I don't know if he can sustain without Debo. It's kind of weird that he's reliant so much on Debo playing to put up good numbers. Bengals have a pretty good pass defense. I might lean Foreman on that one. I don't know what we're getting from Ayuk without Debo on that offense. Is kind of more Kittle last week. Although I think Ayuk did all that action in the first half and then fell off in the second half. Let's see. Ridley, Aaron Jones, Deontay Johnson, I'm guessing, Rashee Rice. I'd go Aaron Jones, I think, is a week better off the hamstring. They had the bye, so
Aaron Jones.
He's
rushing, receiving today.
I think his numbers are a little devalued. His fantasy projections are probably a little devalued. Our resident Packers fan gave a groan to that, so maybe that's not a ringing endorsement.
Yeah,
Deontay Johnson kind of picked up a hamstring later in the week too. I think they were just being cautious with him, but I get it. He has chronic hamstring issues. That's not a good four to choose from. I apologize for having to pick between those. Let's see. Nico Collins.
Johnson, hamstring again?
Yeah,
the same
he's playing,
yeah.
But same thing.
Sore, maybe.
Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Nico Collins 100%. Tank Dell and him are going to dominate that offense. Robert Woods was good, serviceable, taking some targets, but not 100%. So Robert Woods out 2 to 3 weeks. So Nico Collins and Zay Flowers and Tank Dell are the main beneficiaries of that. Kenneth Walker, anyone with Kenneth Walker, if you have another option, I would lean towards using that. Calf is not good for running back. I know they FP'd him on Friday. I don't take too much into that. Seahawks are notoriously rosy on their injury designations and injury prediction, whatever, from head coach Pete Carroll. So I think it's a little bit more Charbonnet action. He's back from the hamstring, full practice, everything, no designation. So I get it. Kenneth Walker's been great, but I think this week is going to be a little tough for him, especially against the Browns defense. Thanks for all the questions. Trying to get to as many as possible before we have to hop off. Nico, Adam Thielen, or Ayuk. That's a 2-horse race between Nico and Adam Thielen for me. I think I'm leaning Nico. Weather in Chicago, I don't know about that. That's a night game. T. Higgins or Jacoby Myers. Who the Raiders play this week? Oh, Lions. Jacoby Myers has been pretty consistent. I don't know about T. Higgins against the Niners defense. I might lean Jacoby Myers there. Justin Herbert or C.J. Stroud. Anyone playing props? C.J. Stroud's number is extremely low, 239.5. He's hit that in 5 out of 6 games, just as an aside. So I don't know. And Carolina has plenty of issues in the secondary, injury-wise. If you want to go to our field views and check it out, I got on the tablet right here scrolling through. You can see red for their secondary, their 2 corners, and I believe a safety as well, if not 2 safeties. So I think C.J. Stroud's going to dominate this week. I would put him in over Herbert, actually. Let's see.
I got some YouTube ones here.
Yeah, what are some YouTube questions, Doug?
Yeah, we've got Mostert, Amari Cooper, or Tyler Lockett for flex.
Tyler Lockett's an interesting one, too. He DNP'd the first 2 days of practice and then FP'd no designation with the hamstring. He played through the hamstring last week, not effective. Amari Cooper with PJ Walker really hasn't done much. And I think, what was the first option there? Mostert. I think you trust Mostert. I mean, they have Jeff Wilson there. They have Salvin Ahmed, but Mostert is the most effective back in that backfield until Achane's back.
Question on Joshua Palmer.
What does he have? I don't know.
Yeah, this question mark.
We'll look up Josh Palmer and come back to him. Thanks for all the questions. TikTok flowing in. Laporta Goddard. Laporta had that calf lingering last couple of weeks. I think he's better off that, but those two good tight ends to pick from. I think that's a toss-up. Might be Laporta against the Raiders is a better matchup.
Palmer has a knee. He's questionable. True game time decision. There's optimism.
Ooh, interesting. Optimism will play. That's good. Knee is not good. It is the Bears, so I don't know how competitive that game is going to be, but it's also the Chargers, so might shoot themselves in the foot and get down early. Bears with Tyson Bagent are not the same Bears as with Justin Fields, it turns out. So I don't know. I think if you have other options, I wouldn't trust Palmer in the late slot. I would try to get someone in that definitely is going to play and be effective. Let's see. Derrick Henry or Breece Hall PPR. I think the Giants and Jets we think is an under game. I don't know if that leads to Breece Hall more. I think we're thinking they're going to show off Derrick Henry at home against the Falcons. I know they said they're not going to trade him, but they're still listening to offers. So that means, in my mind, they're not getting the kind of return they're asking for. But I still think they feed him, especially with Will Levis. I don't think they want to drop him back 30 plus times. I think they want to feed Derrick Henry. Thanks for all the start sits on TikTok. Seeing if we have any on YouTube.
One more here.
Sure.
Starting 2 at flex, Hunt and Palmer, or Rice and Williams in the snow game. I'm tricky.
Yeah, I would go Rashee Rice and Kareem Hunt in that first one. We talked about Jerome Ford a little earlier. It seems like Jerome Ford is heading towards not playing, or at least limited snaps if he does play. So don't trust him. I think Kareem Hunt's going to get a majority of that action. Pierre Strong's the other option there, but I don't think anybody is streaming him, hopefully. Jonnu or Taysom Hill at tight end. I love me some Jonnu Smith. I think they use him a lot more than they should because Kyle Pitts is not getting that action. But Taysom Hill on the outside, I think Taysom Hill has a better matchup. Saints going against the Jaguars, I think. No. Saints going against the Colts. Yeah, it's a better matchup for Taysom Hill. I think they get him more receiving work. I know his usage early on was kind of hit and miss, but I think they're relying on him a little bit more. Josh Jacobs or Raheem Mostert. I wish I had that problem. I would probably go Josh Jacobs. DJ Moore over Kirk. I think I like Christian Kirk this week. Calvin Ridley's not doing it in the offense yet. Thanks for all the questions. Streaming in. Let's see. Nico, Addison, DJ Moore. Jordan Addison has emerged in that offense. We knew he had the opportunity, but especially with Justin Jefferson out going against the Packers, Jair Alexander is going to play, but he's had back spasm issues that could pop up in the middle of the game. He hasn't been super effective this season anyways, so I would lead towards Jordan Addison if you have him in any fantasy format. If you have a question between 3 guys, I would go Jordan Addison and whoever else. Let's see. Kendrick Bourne, DeAndre Hopkins, or Michael Thomas to start. I think DeAndre Hopkins, Falcons have some good cornerbacks, but DeAndre Hopkins has been kind of resurgent. I don't know how much chemistry he has with Will Levis, but roll the dice on that. All right, thanks for all the questions. Get to one more before we hop off. Rashee Rice, Madison, or Drake London. Drake London going against Tennessee. Madison against the Packers, or Rashee Rice in that snow game. Might lean Drake London. I think he's getting a lot of opportunities. I know Desmond Ridder is what he is, and that's unfortunately not going to change for any fantasy owners. But I think he's got the volume to benefit out of all those 3. Getting a lot of Harrison Butker questions. I think go to the kicker free agency pool. I don't trust the snow. I don't think there's too much wind, but I wouldn't trust the snow. I'm actually going to hop off and pick up a kicker right now. All right, thanks everyone. Good luck.
That's fine.